Recently, I have been doing some reading on the history of Mexico. Mexico is a fascinating nation, and it's amazing to me how little about it they taught me in school, considering the fact that it's a neighbor of America, and not only is it a neighbor, it borders America. And this moment is appropriate to point out that all the people of South and North America are Americans, despite citizens of the United States often speaking as if the term American only applies to them. Now, I am astonished at how ignorant I have been all my life of Latin America, and I resent the school system for not teaching me more about it. Many Americans seem ignorant of Latin America. An instance that supports that statement is a video I saw a while back where this guy from the USA said that he thinks that Mexicans should have a revolution in Mexico in order to make it so that Mexico is not in the state of poverty that it is in. In this video, he spoke as if Mexico knows nothing of revolutions, and he spoke as if America is an authority on revolutions. Well, as far as revolutions are concerned, Mexico has had far more revolutions than America has had. This is what I have learned from having recently been reading of Mexico's history. America fought a war for independence from Britain, and Britain is on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. The fighting required to gain independence from a nation that is an ocean away is not really that much. Ireland, on the other hand, has had to fight much harder to become independent. However, Ireland's struggle for independence makes no sense, considering that they are now part of the European Union. My point is that Mexico's history is filled with revolutions, and the issues of poverty in Mexico are of complex origins, and I doubt a revolution would cause poverty to vanish from Mexico. American history has far less revolutionary battles than Mexico, and for this guy to talk on his YouTube video as if America is an authority on revolutions is silly. To gain its independence, America didn't even have to fight that hard. I believe his video dealt with the issue of Mexican poverty because the video was addressing the issue of undocumented migration from Mexico to America. And this migration occurs because Mexicans are seeking employment in America. Undocumented migration to America from Mexico is not something I consider to be problematic. I don't consider this undocumented migration to be problematic. However, I do consider poverty in Mexico to be something which is a problem. The origins of Mexican poverty are complex. However, that does not mean that concise steps can't be taken to deal with it. I have not investigated the issue in depth, though, so I'm not going to suggest what steps ought to be taken. This brings me to another point. People should not talk about things they do not understand, unless, of course, they preface what they're saying with the disclaimer that they are purely speculating on the subject and do not know for sure of whether or not what they're saying is true. And I'm saying this because this guy who made the YouTube video should not have spoke about what Mexico should or shouldn't do without having any knowledge of Mexico. And there is a nasty tendency among people here in the USA to offer opinions on things when these opinions are completely based on ignorance. Another thing is that maybe Americans shouldn't be offering foreign nations, any advice unless they're asked for their advice.